Yo, yo, yo. Remember that I had this CD, maybe it was, I don't even know, early 90s. It was called Yo, Let's Go. I actually think Vanilla Ice, Ice Ice Baby could have been on it, would have been on it, should have been on it. Let's face it, it should have been on it. Am I right? Great song. Vanilla Ice. I might have shared this story before, but I rapped that song with my sister-in-law Geordie at my brother-in-law's wedding. Got down and Shannon Knoll was frothing, gave me a hug, and I think I cried. That's right, cried. That's right. Never too man enough to admit that you cried. People cry, all right? That's what happens. Now, going to tell you guys a story about what happened this morning. Your kids, if you don't, like, all good. If you're trying, keep trying. Great thing to do. If you got them, you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. I remember, so you end up, like, as a dad, you end up just eating, like, stuff, right? You end up, like, crusts, things off the floor, things off the wall, things not quite out of the toilet, but sometimes it might as well be. The other day, Phoenix ate this, like, bit of broccoli and spat it out and ended up, like, eating the mush just because I was like, what do I do with this? Like, it's just nom, 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 nom. Delicious mush broccoli. Perfect. Perfect for the immune system build-up. And anyway, so Jasper's eating this waffle this morning, and we bought waffles just to something special. I want to get a waffle iron, actually. If you've got a waffle iron or a waffle recipe, that's awesome. Send it through to me, please. Greg@sparky.coach. And I was like desperate for him not to finish this waffle. I was like, please, for the love of God, like, give me some of that. Leave some of that waffle. Like, but then he's like, Daddy, this is so good. And I'm just like, give me the waffle. Oh, give me the waffle. And he ends up stopping like halfway through, and I'm just like, this is my chance. And he looks at me in the eyes and he goes, Daddy, I'm going to do a wee. He's got a real husky voice, Jasper. And he goes, Daddy, I'm going to do a wee. Do not touch my waffle. And I'm like, a dagger to my soul, a dagger to my heart. And he goes to the toilet, comes back, and finishes his waffle, washed his hands, of course, for the clean freaks out there, and comes out and demolish. I'm just watching this thing with my coffee, just going, oh, please. I'm trying to distract him, going, look outside, like, look at the tree house, like, look, oh my gosh, is it raining? Trying to distract him, so he, so he's basically, to distract him, didn't work. End up getting left with a little bit of waffle, which was very tasty. And then it's kind of like, the kids are at an age now where they know what's left. So they'll have 2 waffles, there'll be 6 in there. They're like, I know there's 4 left. So if they come home and there's 3 left, they'll be like, Daddy, what happened? You know? I'm like, your mum, she's the waffle monster. Waffle monster. No, it's just like, yeah, fire, it was me. I ate it. I'm the problem. It's me. Taylor Swift style. Anyway, talking about today's staff and staff management and people management, and I think as well, like, a big part of people management is knowing people's flaws, knowing where people come unstuck, knowing what to expect of people, and knowing what's too much of people, and knowing, and I guess making allowance for each other's faults to an extent. Right, so someone makes a mistake on site of something dangerous, no allowance, like no allowance. Nothing, everything on site has to happen correctly. It's not dangerous, no lie, like nothing live that's left out. Like, it's just got to be safe, right? We work in a very dangerous industry. Everything has to be safe, right? Near enough's not good enough. Speaking to someone the other day that went into this site, in this job. You've probably seen this before. I've seen this many times. And they're like, man, the old Sparky, there was this VIR cable, which is like the black cable that just falls to pieces in your hands. And it's like the old Sparky bashed off a conduit and tapped it in, put a little J box above the metal conduit, and, you know, psycho stuff. Like, don't ever be involved in something. Always try and have that mentality, ethos, understanding that this work has to stand the test of time for 50 years, 100 years, maybe 100 years, even though the house will get knocked down within 100 years, but hopefully not too. I live in a 120-year-old house and it's still standing. It's Elton John. I'm still standing better than I ever did. I love myself some Elton John, actually. Great playlist. make allowance for each other's faults, right? Understand where someone comes unstuck. So great thing, Jasper, when he looked at me, he knew my weakness. My kryptonite, what's my kryptonite? The half-eaten waffle. I'm a fiend for it. I want it. Give it to me. I want it now. The waffle. I want it now. Give me the waffle. Right? He looked at it and he was like, Daddy, I know you're gonna touch that. I know what you do. I know who you are. You're a waffle monster. I know you're gonna touch it. I'm just going to the toilet just for a second, right? I'm gonna come back and I'm expecting the waffle to be on my plate, untouched, no bites, don't even look at it, get away from it. It's my waffle. And it got me thinking a lot, because I was like, wow, that kid, I was like, do you know who paid for that waffle? No, I didn't really. But like, I was like, he looked at me, he sized me up, he knew my weakness, he called me out, and then he basically went like, I'll be back. Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'll be back for the waffle. Who is your daddy and how many waffles does he eat? So he goes, we're back. So I was just thinking, oh my gosh, how much with our staff members are we just aware? You know, Joey struggles with job notes. Or if I get Susie here at this point, she might be overwhelmed. I might have to help her through that switchboard upgrade. Or, okay, he or she's never done this before. I'm going to go to site. I'm going to have my top person go to site, really help them through that, really guide them through that. They're a little bit out of their depth. I know how they feel when they get out of their depth. Or this person needs a rough-in document. Certain people and certain personality types don't need a document. It's all in my head, baby. it's in my head. It's upstairs. Some people like really need a process to follow. Do you understand? Some people need to be micromanaged. Some people can't stand to be micromanaged. Do you know what your staff want and clients as well? For some clients, it's like they send you a message, hey, just, can you get here? Give them a thumbs up. Just have some clients need you or your staff members or your admin team to communicate with them and communicate really well. Some people understand what people want and where you could fall apart if you don't have those conversations, and have those difficult conversations and size it up and absolutely get it done, right? And you got to call things out sometimes, right? So if a client that you work with regularly is consistently doing something that you're not comfortable with, whether they're writing you aggressive emails back saying like, oh, I'm not happy with that, or like we've heard me say that before. We had one client massively that was writing lowercase passive aggressive emails after every invoice sent, and I just had to call it out and be like, I can't do it anymore. Like, you need to stop running emails from your phone. I think I said it calmly, but in my head I was like, you need to stop running emails from your phone. God damn it! Probably said it, somewhere in between. Somewhere there. The older I get, the softer I was spoken at that point, Just the old controversial look back. Had to be called out. So it was like, understand if a client's been 3, 4, 6, 8, 12 weeks time, like the invoice is not paid, then hey, don't touch the waffle. like, oh, cool, you want us to come back? Sweet, that's all good. Happy to come back. Just last time there was a big delay. That can't happen again. Is that okay? Right? So there's no need to get aggressive. But you got to call things out. You have to call things out, and you have to call things as you see them, right? If something's outstanding, call it out, 100%, right? This is where the invoice follow-up system, like job management systems, have it on lock. But there's a point of human contact at some point, maybe a week or two. Payment terms are really interesting to talk about, because the larger the job, the more out of control. The larger the job, the more out of your control is a better way to phrase it, that they are. So in other words, if you work for a builder, developer, hospital, like school, it's probably around that 30 to 60 day mark. And some of them are 30 days from end of month. That's why you gotta be really careful. You can rack up a really big bill. If you were roughing in something and buying materials, or fitting off and buying materials for 4 weeks for 4 people, and then you send the bill on the 30th, and they've got a whole month to pay that, you can be hundreds of thousands of dollars out. Not maliciously out, not they owe you out, just not due yet. And then, but certain clients you can dictate the terms to. So if you're doing a 20 grand solar install, it's like, sweet, cool. Just if you pay us a deposit, we'll order the gear. That's it. Oh, cool. Yeah. And if someone's put you under the pump before, you can be like, hey, I had a really negative experience there. the job's $4,000. If you put it in my account, then I'll do the work. So it's like, don't hesitate to you do you in that sense, right? Like what you do might be dictated by what you have seen before. And some clients, some clients for us would send me a message. There was no contracts in a lot of people. It was a handshake agreement or a text message or a call. We'd worked with each other for 5 years, 10 years. We would just turn up and I'd send the invoice and the money was there. Sweet, all good. It didn't need anything in writing for them. Didn't need to bother them with anything. Just needed to do what they said and make sure it was to Australian standards, make sure it was excellent, make sure this and that, make sure that we signed in and out of the building, and then we rock out of there, right? So my encouragement to you here in this session, in this podcast, is to know your market, know your staff members, know what they're good at, know what they need help with, know your clients, know what they're good at, know what they need help with, know yourself, know when you're going to eat that waffle. What are you going to do? Procrastinate? Sweet. Let's tidy that up. Let's get that happening. Time management is the key to success in all your office. What's your weakness? What's your kryptonite? Late hours work, early work? Like what are you doing right now you can pull back on? Know yourself, call it out, call it as you see it. And what you want to do is preempt a bunch of stuff, preempt someone's going to eat your waffle, tidy it up, have the big conversation, come back and eat your waffle. That's what you want to do. Is anyone else thinking about going and buying some waffles? Yeah, me neither. Not kidding, I want to get a waffle so bad. All right, have the best day ever. Have those big conversations, not just with your staff, not just with your clients, but with yourself. And we'll see you guys soon. Peace.